This is our third talk in our mini-series, the WordiVerse, and we are looking at at how knowledge is the governor of all our understanding, how self-knowledge is the governor of all our understanding. The governor is a big word. It is a word that's pregnant with meaning. It means that it is the foundation of our self-understanding, the bedrock of the words, the sounds that we communicate our messages, our announcements through. We have already said that the total knowledge of ourselves as human beings, as people with distinct differences through each frame of reference. There is not one human being on earth that does not possess a frame of reference that is not distinctly different from the other. The similar is the word that we are looking for. So we've already said that the total knowledge from the perspective of our self-understanding and self-knowledge, total knowledge is unknown. The totality of all knowledge is unknown. And this contrary has been discovered also in antiquity already, that through contraries and contradictions and opposites, opposing forces, discovery is possible. So we know that through our discoveries of the principles of the operation of worlds that follows through time, that new discoveries yields a more complete knowledge in comparison with the knowledge we had before. There is a beautiful book on the shoulders of giants that when one read this, you can clearly see how this principle comes from the earliest of times. So that knowledge is from a very fundamental perspective unknown to us in very mysterious ways, we would like to say. Unknown is a fact of human experience. We can clearly say this on the basis of our own lives, that we don't know everything. In fact, there is a good point of departure for learning, that any learner who thinks that he has nothing to learn, this is a misnomer. When you learn, you open yourself to learning. So this learning is in itself an admission of, I don't know, but let me find out. If I could fathom what the depth of this thing is that I'm learning, that what do these people mean with, what do I mean with that knowledge is the governor of my understanding? My understanding is the change agent. If I'm in a difficulty in my life, or if I have a hard decision to make, I'm going to draw on my total understanding, my synthesis of the many risk factors that comes into it to make a decision. But there is an uncertainty in every decision that we make. We are not really 100% sure. There's always a risk involved what the outcome is going to be, because I don't know the total consequences of my decisions and choices. So that even in our psychological structure of understanding, there is an uncertainty. And I don't know, or ignorance present. Isn't this now a sort of a psychological rule if we might say, that in every known and unknown exists. And it's that unknown that is for discovery. And it has been this for the longest of time. So in the WordiVerse, we so far said that knowledge is the governor of the unity of every perceiver, and that discovery of knowledge is really the psychology of the unknown. Our total knowledge of self is unknown. If we accept our complex unity as pure biology, then we will have a certain perspective, a certain world perspective, an idea of ourselves. But if we examine this complexity, a unity with many facets, such as, for example, in its minutest atomic compositions, or in its genetics, genomics and proteomics are the new buzzwords, or as a total biological system, or as a neurological system. What else is there to add? Well, there's sound, and we've just shown that sound is fundamental to forming. The words the words form on the basis of my understanding. Sound forms the structures in the universe. The birth of new galaxies, supermassive explosions. It's all vibration. Why do we exclude ourselves so passionately from this? It's beyond me. But our complex unity is also a unity of spirit. Same as with the fish. The fish is living, you see. Isn't that life? Isn't soul life? Spirit life? Perceiving, knowing. Isn't our world that we know ourselves a living knowing? And the words I produce are living sounds. The psychological complexity of our being as humans is indubitable, if we might use that beautiful philosophical word. But having said all that, human understanding in all subjects is essentially ignorant, because we simply don't know. May we not say this, that all knowledge formed is replete with worlds of words, and worlds of words are replete with the known, the knower, and knowledge. Isn't there now a relationship deeper between sound, word, idea, name, and knowledge? It seems to me that in this psychology, the one exists for the other as a unity. And that unity is in us. And we will explore in our next, I said lecture in the last, but this is not really, it's just a talk that we are having about these deep matters. Until then,